welcome to another episode. Today we are going to witness your past. Today we are going to witness maybe things that you haven't acknowledged. Today we are going to look into things that may be quite painful to acknowledge. See, there are a few reasons why we keep protecting those who have hurt us. As long as we are not saying something, as long as we are not putting it on the table, it may have never been real in the first place. Have you played that way? Many people have. Many people try to put it under the carpet, any sort of abuse happening to you, any sort of, this could be emotional abuse, this could be physical abuse. Now, this can be the big T's, right? Or the small T's, like big traumas or small traumas. The thing with those happenings is, it's not really about, is it worthy to feel bad? Is it worthy to be sad? Is it worthy to feel this or that? It's not about that. It's about honoring how you felt, honoring and standing in your truth. Your truth can only be accepted by you. You are not waiting for any parent or anybody who raised you, anybody who hurt you to come and say sorry. This is not the process you need, I tell you. See, it would be nice if people would apologize to us. It would be nice if people would say something like this or try to make it better or try to listen to your side of the story. But oftentimes this is not the case. Oftentimes they actually do live in their own traumatic experience too. So they haven't lived up to that idea that this could be wrong, or that this is something they need to apologize for, right? And it's not really about the apology you need. You see, I think what oftentimes is missing at this point is the pure understanding and healing aspect of witnessing your inner child, witnessing that, all those sentences you heard of, you're so ugly, you're so fat, you're not intelligent, please stay away, you are not part of the family, right? Or those things that you have felt underlying, right? That weren't outspoken, that you felt anyways. Like in my family, for example, it was quite normal not to talk about it. So I would feel it. And then when I would say something, they would just say like, oh, we never said that, So I always felt like really weird because I couldn't point any finger to anybody because no one would believe me. No one would be willing to accept how I felt, right? So I was constantly in the line, should I actually trust my own intuition? Or should I trust the adults? And in my case, it was I trusted the adults because I was constantly told that the adults know better, that a child has no clue what they're doing, right? And maybe to a certain extent, a child has not as much knowledge as the adult. Yet, when it comes down to sensing, to feeling, to tapping into intuition, I'm 100% sure that a child is most probably doing better than the adult who is trying to just push everything down, right? So witnessing your inner child, holding space for that inner child of how you felt is crucial, okay? Why are we doing this? Well, because we don't want to repeat things into our life that we don't want anymore. Okay, our body or our behavior works a certain way, and it keeps allowing things in that is in our field, in our energy field, in the way how we behave, right? Because we are searching for that. We are searching for known patterns, right? We are searching for behaviors that we have always done, right? It doesn't really matter if you are looking at this from a very spiritual aspect, if you're looking at it from really just from a bit more of the logical side, right? It doesn't really matter. What you need to understand is look at your life and see which patterns are you constantly repeating over and over again, right? For example, are you proving yourself that you are not worthy? Are you constantly feeling not worthy? Okay? Are you constantly feeling not enough? Do you feel ugly? Do you feel not sexy? Do you feel you cannot express your feminine side? Do you feel you cannot be creative because it doesn't bring you any cash? What is your belief system telling you? You just need to go there and look for it, right? And then go into the origin on where this is coming from. Now you may say, well, I already know it was my mom, or it was my dad, or it was blah, 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 your school, right? The environment, maybe other kids in school, right? It doesn't really matter. Try to go back there and try to witness your inner child. Try to go there in, you can really say in a pictured way, right? Try to go there and say it's okay. What you feel is okay. How you feel is okay. You're loved regardless, you know. We will do better in the future. We will do better from now on. We will do better. We try to overcome this, okay? Take your inner child by its hand and say it's okay to let go. Say it's okay to move on. Say it's okay to transform, right? If you're doing this by writing a letter to your inner child, if you're doing this in simply going what I just said as a meditation kind of form, I find that quite transformative. I'm not really the big writer, so I really love doing that and being very visual about it, feeling into it. If you're writing it down, right? Explore your emotions, explore how you felt. It's quite crucial to get to that state of releasing is possible, right? And you know, the more you are doing that and the more you're practicing that, the more you can say bye to those patterns. You don't want to repeat those ones over and over again. You're done with them, right? You're done. You don't need to constantly prove your parents that they're right, or your inner child. You can move on now. It's okay to go. It's okay to let go. What you need to do though is to really embrace that, right? Really tapping into that. And you know, often this is quite a scary part, because we actually say with that, it actually truly happened. You know what I mean? You actually go into that and you say this truly happened. Personally, this was one of my biggest issues by going into my healing journey, because I felt going into that and really feeling it, I was numbing out everything, so I was quite okay and surviving, right? I wasn't thriving, but I was surviving. And when you're going into the state of your inner child and you're trying to explore and feel, it's quite scary, because you acknowledge that this actually truly happened. You know, I had several events in my adulthood where those events, of course not the same way, but very similar. They felt very similar. And actually, it was the same person doing it to me. The same pain was again coming up. And then I knew that my whole past of how I felt was actually true, you know? And when you start to recognize that, you kind of feel pissed. You feel pissed because you thought that maybe never happened. You thought that you were kind of, it wasn't right, it wasn't true. And then at one point you start to recognize it was indeed true. It was true, right? In my story, it was true that they told me to shut up. It was true that they ignored me. It was true that they ignored me and left me somewhere in the corner. So if you're doing that to a child who has emotional or is going through a lot of emotions, and you cannot give that child love and safety and the feeling of being connected and held, that child will eventually get very, very distant and is very much living in pain, because it's really indeed a basic need. And if you're constantly shouting out and constantly telling that child that this never happened, and then at the end it actually happens again in your adulthood, and you're like, wait a second, I actually really know this emotion. I truly know this emotion. Where did I had this emotion before? And you start to connect the puzzles. And when you start to connect the puzzles, you start to see, I didn't really believe myself. I didn't believe that this was happening. I didn't want to believe that this was happening. It was easier to flash it out. It was not possible for me as a child to cope with it, because trusting that the adult next to me only wants the very best for me, right? That was my idea as a child, right? That was why I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that this was possible, right? I didn't want to believe it, right? And it's not really about, hey, now that I know, I go there and I share all of that. And the reason why I'm not doing that, or why I would never do that again, is simply because I know that I could talk as much as I want. You see, there are people who will never change and who will not understand your pain. But, and this is the most important part, it's not about you to tell them your pain. It's about, I'm really, really tapping into my pain. I'm accepting, acknowledging it, and I'm letting it go from my system. I allow myself to be free. I allow myself to be happy. I allow myself to feel love, even if I've never experienced it before, even if I have no idea how that may look like from an unconditional place, even if I have no clue how real relationships work, even if I don't know all of that. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. I can still put myself into that field, understanding that this time has come to let go. Okay? So please try to do that. I really, really hope that this has supported you on some level. Let me know in the comment section. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed already to my channel, this is what we are doing on a weekly basis. We look into your past, we look into your future, we combine the two, and we try to understand where you want to go, right? Because your life isn't about the past anymore. But we do need to do some collection from the past. We do need to find all the strength that you got from there, all the love that you carry from your past, right? We may want to take this forward. So we have to collect those things in order to go into your dharma, right? To go into your potential, to really feel into that, right? You don't want to let that just go. You want to really heal it, right? You want to really heal it, and then you want to move forward into some unknown territory that is super, super exciting and interesting and adventurous, but also maybe more calm than you used to. So let's see if you want to join me further on, right? All right, until we see each other next time. Bye.